If I woke up tomorrow and my Etsy shop was completely gone, these are the only digital products I'd spend my time creating. Not because they're trending, but because they're the exact products that helped me generate over $400,000 in Etsy sales. And today I'm going to show you exactly what they are. But before we get into these digital products, I want to show you a brand new Kittl feature that can help speed up your design process. For this video, I'm partnering with Kittl and they recently introduced workflows. A workflow is essentially a ready-made process inside Kittl that's built in for one specific task, whether that's creating a graphic, a product photo, or even a short video. Instead of starting from scratch, you simply choose the workflow, select a few options, and Kittl generates the finished result for you. Let me show you how it works. So let's create a graphic together. I'm going to choose this workflow for creating a handcrafted design. For the topic, I'll enter dog with a laptop and then I'll add the phrase work hard. I'll select the mixed media style and click generate. And here's what it came up with, which I think is so cute. So in just a few clicks, you've got a unique graphic that you can continue customizing or use as the starting point for products like merch, stickers, posters, and so much more. But it doesn't stop there. Let's say you want to create product photos for the design you just made. Simply choose the lifestyle product mockup, upload the design you just generated, pick the product you want to showcase, choose a vibe, and click generate. In just a few seconds, it creates a realistic product mockup that's ready to use in your Etsy listings or marketing materials. And that's just one example. There are also workflows for creating product videos, creating branding assets like logos, and creating all kinds of other designs for your business. Whatever you're creating for, there's probably already something for it. The other great thing is that the workflows library is constantly growing. Kittl is always adding new workflows based on the latest design trends, so there's always something new to explore. AI workflows are live on Kittl, so if you'd like to try them out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's free to get started. And if you decide to upgrade, you can use the code WORKFLOWS to get 50% off all annual plans. The first product I'd sell are pitch deck presentations. These are presentation templates that businesses, startups, freelancers, agencies, and even content creators use to communicate ideas professionally. That could be pitching to a potential client, attracting investors, reaching out to sponsors, or simply presenting information in a professional way. The easiest way to think about these is like a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. If you've ever been in school or worked in an office, you've probably seen someone present using slides. You're essentially creating beautifully designed slide decks that people can customize with their own branding, text, and images instead of starting from scratch. Most of these templates range anywhere from around 20 slides to well over 100 depending on what you're creating. The key is to design each template with a specific purpose in mind. For example, the one I'm showing you here is a freelancer pitch deck. A freelancer could use this when pitching their services to a potential client. They might present it live during a meeting while walking the client through their services, or simply export it as a PDF and send it over afterwards. Either way, it gives them a polished, professional way to present themselves and their business. You can typically sell these anywhere from $20 to $50 depending on the number of slides you include. One of the reasons I'd absolutely sell presentations again is because I still think they're a relatively untapped market on Etsy. And because your customers are usually business owners, freelancers, or professionals, they're investing in something that can help them grow their business. That clear return on investment makes these templates much easier to sell. So if I were starting my Etsy shop from scratch today, presentation templates would absolutely be one of the first products I'd create. The next product I'd sell are business forms. These are templates that businesses use in their day-to-day operations. Think contracts, client questionnaires, invoices, proposal templates, onboarding forms, consent forms, booking forms, and so much more. One of the things I love about business forms is how simple they are to create. Most of them are only 1 to 3 pages long, so they're nowhere near as time-consuming as designing something like a presentation or a website. But despite being relatively simple, they sell incredibly well. I sell these in my own Etsy shop, and I've honestly been surprised by how many people purchase them. The great thing is that you can create business forms for almost any industry. For example, the ones I'm showing you here include a client intake form and contract for a social media manager. Here's one for an aesthetic clinic, a therapist, a virtual assistant, a wedding planner, a photographer, and a makeup artist. Once you understand the needs of a particular industry, you'll quickly realize there are dozens of forms you can create for it. Now, these typically sell anywhere from $5 to $15 depending on what's included. You can sell individual forms or bundle several together for a higher price. One thing I do want to mention is that if you're creating contracts, you're mainly selling the design and layout of the document, not legal advice. Your customers should always customize the wording to suit their own business and have it it reviewed by a legal professional if needed. I also recommend including a disclaimer in your product description stating that the template is for informational and design purposes only and isn't intended to be legal advice. Bottom line, if you're looking for a product that's quick to create but still has strong demand, this is definitely one I'd consider. The next product I'd sell are workbooks. These are essentially digital guides that help people learn something or achieve a specific goal. They're commonly used by coaches, educators, course creators, consultants, and businesses to teach a topic in a more interactive way. Instead of simply reading information, customers are guided through exercises, worksheets, prompts, and action steps that help them apply what they're learning. One of the things I love about workbooks is that they have a really high perceived value. Because they're often much longer than other digital products, customers naturally expect to pay more for them. Most workbooks range anywhere from 30 pages to well over 100 pages depending on the topic you're covering. For example, the one I'm showing you here is a 100-page workbook designed for business coaches. Throughout the workbook, you'll find educational content, exercises, worksheets, and space for the customer to write down their answers. These typically sell anywhere from $30 to $50, although more comprehensive workbooks or bundled workbooks can often sell for even more. If you've been on my channel for a while, you probably already know that workbooks are one of the products I sell in my own Etsy shop and one that I recommend quite often. Now, I'm not gonna lie, these do take a lot more work to create than some of the other products we've talked about. Putting together a 100-page workbook with educational content, exercises, and thoughtful layouts definitely takes time. But in my opinion, the effort is worth it. Because of the amount of value you're providing, customers are generally willing to pay more for them, making them a really strong digital product to sell. So if you're willing to put in the work up front, I think workbooks are absolutely worth considering. The next product I'd sell are branding kits. Branding kits are collections of design assets that help a business create a consistent visual identity. Customers get everything they need to build a cohesive brand that they can use across their website, social media, and marketing materials. For example, the one I'm showing you here is a branding kit designed for a feminine brand. It includes a logo suite, social media banners, a thank you card, a business card, an email signature template, and Instagram highlight covers. Now, the exact contents are completely up to you, but the goal is to give your customer everything they need to create a professional-looking brand. I've actually created an entire tutorial on how I design branding kits from start to finish, so if you'd like to learn my process, I'll leave that link in the description below. Branding kits typically sell anywhere from $20 to $50, depending on how many assets are included. And if you eventually want to increase your pricing, you can also branch out into custom branding kits. These are everywhere on Etsy, and instead of selling a template, you're creating a completely custom brand identity for a client. Graphic designers often charge anywhere from $500 to several $1,000s for custom branding projects. So while templates are a great place to start, it's also a skill that can grow into a much higher ticket service. If I had to rebuild my Etsy shop from scratch, branding kits would definitely be one of the products I'd create. The last product I'd sell are social media templates. I've talked about these quite a bit on my channel because Instagram templates were actually the very first product I ever sold on Etsy. They're what started my entire digital product business, and to this day, they're still one of my best-selling products. So there was no way I could leave them off this list. Social media templates are customizable graphics that businesses and content creators can edit with their own branding before posting online. And while Instagram is probably the most popular platform for these, you can also create templates for TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, and even LinkedIn. That's why I like talking about social media templates as a whole, because there are so many different directions you can take them. Now, the examples I'm showing you here are Instagram templates. I've created them for nail salons, coffee shops, wedding photographers, lash technicians, hair salons, social media managers, therapists, virtual assistants, and so many other industries. These typically sell anywhere from $10 to $25 depending on how many templates are included in the bundle. And honestly, if I had to make my first $400,000 in Etsy all over again, social media templates would still be the very first product I'd create. Now, if any of these products stood out to you, but you're not quite sure where to start, I do have something that might help. I created a resource called The Vault. Every single product category I talked about in today's video is already included inside, so instead of starting from a blank canvas, you can begin with professionally designed templates that you can edit, rebrand, and make completely your own. The Vault includes over 1,000 digital products across 13 different niches, so whether you're interested in workbooks, branding kits, business forms, websites, social media templates, presentations, or so much more, you'll have plenty of products to work with. You can also use it as a learning resource. One of the biggest challenges I had when I first started selling digital products was simply not knowing what actually went inside each template. What pages should a workbook have? What should a branding kit include? What sections belong in a pitch deck? The Vault gives you real examples that you can study, learn from, and use as inspiration while creating your own products. And because it's currently my birthday month, the Vault is on sale for $150 instead of its regular price of $199. The sale runs until August 14, which also happens to be my birthday, so if you've been thinking about picking it up, now's the perfect time. You can find the link in the description below, and I can't wait to see what you create with it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!